I've never been so excited for a presidential race to end like I was when Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton faced off. Little did I know, or any of us knew, that what would come after was more intense chaos. I'm not going to comment on the college students needing Play-Doh and coloring books to cope with the Trump victory because, well, they were so distraught. Nope, I'm not going to give my opinion about professors canceling midterms and handing out hot chocolate and pizza for students who were distraught. That's commentary for the therapist to take on. But what about how we communicate with each other? That's what I want to talk about. What happened to expressing yourself without getting attacked? You know, that amendment in our Constitution called freedom of speech? The pro-life citizens, the conservatives, those who support a Christian belief system have been so silenced, and more so since the Trump victory, that the ironic thing is that the voting booth allowed citizens to express their voice louder than ever, hence the reaction from the other side. We're all called as Christians to vote our conscience. It's not that hard. We know right from wrong, and if you have any doubt, look to the Catholic Church for guidance. Whether you're an elected leader or not, we're all called to speak politically with our vote. It is clear we'll not always agree, but what about the idea of hearing each other out? Let's stop talking long enough to listen to what someone else has to say. You might learn something. If nothing else, that person's perspective just might further confirm your own. As a news junkie, I often flip channels just to see how other networks report the same story. I used to do this when I was a full-time reporter myself. I always wanted to see how other reporters delivered the same story I covered. Yes, this is a great country. It gives us the right to protest, but to do it peacefully. We can speak politically in many ways, but let's turn to Christ on how to do just that in a Christian way. In the book of Titus, it reads, "But avoid foolish controversies, genealogies, dissensions, and quarrels about the law, for they are unprofitable and worthless." Regardless of who our president is, we must remember who is really in charge: God. Just read Psalms. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people whom he has chosen as his heritage. Ultimately, we need leaders who will uphold the law. In Romans we read, "Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive his approval, for he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is the servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer. Therefore, one must be subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of conscience." This has been a Christ-centered communication message. I'm Vanessa Denha-Garmo, a communications evangelist.